This is the Good Government Show.
Part of being a responsible leader in government is recognizing that you have to spend less than you receive. There's always a trade-off of which investments do you make to deliver good government. But the genesis of the idea really does, the credit goes to city staff for the great work that they're doing in San Leandro. You can do more with the same or less. Good government serves the needs of residents and specifically improves their quality of life. The ethnic diversity of San Leandro is paramount to the success of our city.
They call them microloans. They may be small loans, just $1,000, something like that, but the impact is huge. That's on this episode. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm Dave Martin. First, help us share the message of good government by liking us and sharing us where we are on our social media or your favorite social media. Make sure to review us and send us everywhere. We all need to talk about good government. Juan Gonzalez is the mayor of the city of San Leandro. That's a small city on the east side of San Francisco Bay. He's in his first term as the city's mayor. We met at the Conference of Mayors, and as you'll hear, we talked during the conference. That's people talking behind us in the background. And he's also on the National League of Cities Small City Council. What drew me to Mayor Gonzalez was a program his city has that helps small business. Really, it helps independent artists and artisans. They turn their craft into a business, and I'll let him tell you about all those success stories. So coming up, those very success stories from San Leandro, California Mayor Juan Gonzalez. We have a new partner here on the Good Government Show, HelloNation. This is a new digital magazine that showcases the best of cities across the nation. We'd all prefer if good news traveled faster. At HelloNation, positive stories don't just get told, they get amplified. HelloNation helps businesses, leaders, and communities share positive stories that matter, building trust, credibility, and meaningful connection. Through professionally produced podcasts, digital features, and targeted distribution, HelloNation positions you as the answer regular folks are looking for, while expanding and scaling your digital footprint across the platforms that people trust. Good news deserves momentum. Your city or your business can help spread the word of good news across the nation. At HelloNation, they don't just have advertisers, they have advertisers. Editorial content from trusted community leaders and cities that are helping spread the good news. Let HelloNation lift you up and lead the conversation. Visit HelloNation.com to learn more. Once you wrap up this episode of the Good Government Show, give a listen to our friends over at Good News for Lefties. This daily podcast highlights news stories that show there's more good news out there. Other people in government are really trying to do the right thing. That's Good News for Lefties. Listen where you're listening now. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm happy to have with me Mayor Juan Gonzalez of the city of San Leandro, California. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And so we met at something called the Latino Alliance here at the Conference of Mayors. And it was a session where Latino mayors and I think someone coined the phrase Latino curious could work together and talk about issues that they all had in common. You're from San Leandro, California. Tell us where that is and tell me a little bit about your city.
So San Leandro is in the San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco is immediately south of Oakland, California. The city's a beautiful city, wonderful weather, and most notably known for Ghirardelli chocolate. So those little squares say San Leandro, California, right on the bottom.
Those are very good chocolates.
They are indeed. We are proud to have them in our city.
So you were talking, and this is when I came in, and this is what I really wanted to chat with you about, a program you call the Small Business Technical Assistance, and you gave a couple of examples of just some small donations, not donations, but small grants you were able to make that really made a difference and changed some people's lives. So tell me what the Small Business Technical Assistance Program is.
So the program offered two primary types of assistance. First, giving classes, giving mentorship, giving guidance, counseling to small business owners focused on areas that small business owners wanted to learn more about. So instead of pushing, they asked and they received what they wanted. The program also entailed some micro donations. And we have examples where recipients would use that money to enable them to enter, let's say, festivals where they could then sell their product.
Okay.
And by offering just a little bit of money, it gave them the confidence to say, I can do this, and in fact, help them succeed by exposing them in combination with those classes.
You talk about micro donations, you said a small amount of money. How much money are we talking about here?
Oftentimes the numbers were approximately $1,500, enabling people to set up booths at festivals to share their goods. So combined with what they learned in the classroom,
okay,
with the real world experience of going out there and pitching their goods, we saw increased success among businesses.
This sounds like kind of artesian kind of products, clothing, jewelry, things like that. Yes?
Exactly. One of the recipients helps to recycle textiles.
Okay.
So things that would typically end up in landfill are being repurposed. She takes that fabric and then turns it into products that people buy.
What is she selling?
So she sells all sorts of different things like bags, vests, and other things that you would wear as textiles. And some things are not even to be worn, but simply to be used.
To be used. Can you tell like what its previous life was, or does she just puts it in and uses it and it makes something brand new?
You know, when you're talking about something like denim,
yes,
we can assume that it was used for jeans, generally speaking.
Right. Okay. So how many of these success stories have you had?
Oh, there are many success stories about really just making government either more responsive to the people or being able to deliver the same service or more service for lower cost.
And how long have you been doing this small business technical assistance program?
So that started at the end of 2023.
Okay, so it's relatively new.
It's relatively new, and we have success stories that are coming to the forefront.
So give me a couple of success stories. This is the Good Government Show. I like to hear about good government in action. So brag a little bit on your program.
So can I brag beyond just this program?
Yes, but we'll stay with this program first. Yeah.
So for this program in particular, we've got an individual who was looking to broaden her sticker making business.
Sticker making.
Yes. How complicated could sticker making be?
I have
you
no
might
idea.
say.
I don't. I would say.
But her stickers were bringing joy to people. Okay. And she said, okay, well, what else can I do? And so she started to expand into embroidery.
Okay.
By literally buying one embroidery machine and saying, let me try a few things. I'll digitize some of my art and I'll deliver it to the public. Well, guess what? To get out there and connect with people, you got to go to festivals, to art festivals, to artisanal festivals and the like. You got to be in social media. And what she found was that this enabled her to get out into those booth spaces without having to put her own capital out there. And maybe to most business people that are with a successful business, $200 for a festival might not seem like a lot. But to a startup, that can be a significant investment, particularly when you're dealing with folks with lower income.
So how much did this woman get in the grant?
So she received $1,500 and used that to attend multiple festivals, including the city's own Cherry Festival, which attracts tens of thousands of people.
You have a cherry festival?
Yes, we do. Okay. San Leandro, the cherry city.
I didn't know that.
There you go. And now
I thought it was Northern Michigan, but no, it's right in California. Good.
There you go.
All right.
Long history of cherries in San Leandro. But what we found is that she was able to be successful by being present, strutting her merchandise, and she was able to do that without investing in the booth itself.
Okay.
Because she was able to use this micro grant. And she attended multiple festivals. The demand for her product, especially the embroidery product, has grown.
Right.
And today she is buying her third machine. And because she's delivering more orders with more machines, she literally said to me a couple of days ago, I have to hire somebody. So she's converting her business from a sole proprietorship into an LLC so she can set up a business that hires people in our community.
So she got a grant for $1,500. She expanded from beyond a sticker business to an embroidery business. When she bought a sewing machine, did the grant money help her buy the sewing machine?
I wish I could say yes. I don't know for sure. But what I do...
But it certainly got her into the festival, so she was able to make more money.
Exactly. Got her into multiple festivals, which yielded increased demand because her products are cute. And then that increased demand, the increased sales, drove her to buy more equipment,
Right.
invest more capital, and now she's to the point of actually hiring a coworker.
So now she's up to 3 machines and an employee, all from a $1,500 grant.
And her own entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, no, and that listen, you have to have that kind of drive. How many people in all have you given this grants out to?
So we've been supporting through training and or grants 53 individuals.
It's 53. That's pretty good in 2 years.
Yep. And we've got individuals who are very excited about the program and are in turn starting to give back to the program directly.
How are they giving back?
Well, one of the things that we see is training. They themselves are becoming trainers. They're sharing their stories.
Okay.
And one of the more beautiful stories involves a lady named Teresa who made a very conscious decision to give back to younger people in her community by training them, in her case, also on sewing and the reuse of textiles.
So what is she making?
So she makes textile products using old clothing that she repurposes.
Is she making bags or shirts or sweaters or everything?
A little bit of everything.
Okay. And she started again with a $1,500 grant?
With her, she actually did not receive money.
Oh.
She just received training.
Okay.
That training gave her greater confidence. It inspired her to do more education. She joined the NASDAQ Entrepreneur Center trainings. And through that, began to realize that there is so much to be learned out there in the world in terms of how to become a more effective entrepreneur. So for her, the transformational effort was her dedication to self-improvement and training. With that confidence, she then has turned into a trainer of others and has increased the success of her business.
How did this idea come together? How did it become an idea?
So coming out of the pandemic, we knew that many small businesses were particularly impacted. And what was so powerful about that experience was knowing that we could actually connect with our immigrant community, our second generation community, by reaching out in their languages. In our particular city, over 50% of the households speak a foreign language at home. 40% were actually born in another country. So by building those bridges, by direct community outreach, we were able to take a situation of distrust and show people that we actually care and can support the growth of that entrepreneurial spirit.
And I am guessing, Juan Gonzalez, that Spanish is spoken in your home as well?
Spanish was spoken in my home growing up.
Okay.
And I would speak Spanish with my children as well to just prepare them for a multicultural world.
Does it matter that you are a native Spanish speaker when you are talking with these folks who are in the program?
I will say that speaking Spanish with residents for whom English is not their first language, it really enables a connection that is beyond just communicating.
Okay.
It is connection at a cultural level. It's connection at an experience level. And by choosing words that they understand instead of words that they think they kind of sort of understand.
That would be when I speak Spanish.
Right.
Okay.
It certainly helps make that connection and eases people, deepens trust, and quite frankly, improves their faith in government.
What are the future plans for the small business assistance?
So at present, we're looking for funding sources. So the expenditures were $35,000. And we know that there are many opportunities out there from various funding sources, and we're looking for that additional funding because, as you probably recognize, currently in many city governments, we're facing budgetary shortfalls as sales revenues are shrinking.
But you said this whole program was $35,000.
The amount of money that we spent as a city of San Leandro, $35,000. We were also
That's kind of nothing. It's not nothing, but that's not a significant amount of money compared to the rest of the city budget. It's insignificant almost.
Again, part of being a responsible leader in government is recognizing that you have to spend less than you receive. So very recently, we had some very difficult discussions with city staff, indicating that we had a multi-million-dollar budget deficit.
Okay.
And so part of this process of balancing a budget is making some difficult choices because we have other places where we are investing money to decrease the cost of delivering service to residents. So there's always a trade-off of which investments do you make to deliver good government.
Thank you for saying good government. But $35,000 it seems to be money very well spent. Is it?
The money that we spend in the city of San Leandro is well spent. Whether we spend it through our library programs, where there are many programs that connect us to residents and meet them in their need as they learn a new language, English. Whether it's working with our police department to implement public safety cameras, which has helped reduce crime 31%.
Okay.
So each of these are good investments.
Right.
Some have very dramatic results. Some have nice results, but we're always facing those trade-offs.
I know you're itching to talk about other good government in San Leandro, but just go back to the small business technical assistance. Anybody else you want to brag about?
Those are the stories that I have handy right now. I'm a big believer in sharing stories where I personally know the stories, and not just have talking points.
Right.
Because when I know the story, I can share it with authenticity and specificity. And so, thank you for probing. But at this time, those are the stories that I personally feel comfortable with.
Those are the ones you're good. But there are 51 other stories out there that are somewhat similar to different degrees of success. Has everyone who's entered this program and taken advantage of this been successful?
Again, without knowing the specifics of each individual story, it's hard for me to say.
Was this your idea?
Not specifically my idea. You know how mayors take credit for everything that happens during their term. But the real credit goes to city staff, who on the economic development team saw a very specific need. Then, of course, the city council supports the funding of these efforts.
Right.
So we can pat ourselves on the back as being good team players. But the genesis of the idea really does, the credit goes to city staff for the great work that they're doing in San Leandro.
And, you know, one of the things we like to talk to people about here on the Good Government Show is those are the people who actually, you know, like sit down at their desk with a colleague, pour a cup of coffee and go, how can we make this better? And then they come up with a plan and then they present it to their boss, who ultimately presents it to the mayor, and everybody goes, that is a great idea. And that's where good ideas come from, right?
Good idea genesis is often in the staff and in the community. The community comes to us with all sorts of great ideas. And if we're effective leaders, we're listening.
Right.
And we're filtering through all of those things that people come to us with. So please, for folks in the public, share your good ideas as well.
Okay. You hit on something I wanted to just circle back to. We've done a few stories about libraries here. Tell me what good government you're delivering in your city's libraries.
So in San Leandro, we deliver literally hundreds of thousands of visits to our libraries. We deliver hundreds of programs ranging from reading to young children, encouraging teenagers to read. We're currently building a program that unites student IDs from the school district and automatically turns them into the library card.
Wow.
So that people don't have to have an extra app on their phone, an extra card in their pocket. They can literally use their school ID when they come after school to the library to do their homework.
How many actual libraries do you have in town?
So in San Leandro, we have a large main branch. We have an ancillary branch in what we call the Manor section of town. And we're about to rebuild our third library. These smaller libraries are on the order of 10,000 square feet, 5,000 square feet. So they're not tiny. But these branch libraries do serve the local needs of those communities, making them more bike accessible, more pedestrian accessible, making them truly a neighborhood asset.
All right, now you have an opportunity to brag about your city and all the good government you're doing in San Leandro. You're on, go.
Super proud of having come from the private sector into government. Because in the private sector, there's such a focus on efficiency. And whether it be how we deliver our summertime programming, very proud to report that this year, with the same number of full-time staff, we're delivering over 300 more programs. So 300. So we're better leveraging the infrastructure that we've built to deliver more services. And because we charge for a number of these programs, and because we do give grants to economically disadvantaged families, we're able to revenue neutrally expand services by just expecting more of our full-time staff and leveraging technology for registration and the like. So you can do more with the same or less. And when I say or less, I'm being very specific, because when I think about the movement towards online permitting,
Right.
the number of hours that have been cut from staff time that people were going back and forth with folks by phone calls and by emails and by in-person visits, which are now either reduced or eliminated because all the information is put through a digital portal and folks are able to read that online. You can, through the digital portal as a city, we can say, I'm sorry, your application is not complete yet. Please upload this document. Oh, you haven't.
Are we talking about AI here?
AI is an element of it, but we're really talking just about going digital, about enabling folks to interact with us through a web portal.
Okay.
So people can upload information right off of their phones, if they want to do it off of laptops, if they want to do it from their desks at home. However folks do that, by interacting with us digitally, they're able to deal with that much more effectively. And may I leave you one last thought?
Yeah, no, please.
For me, if we think about the 1950s, what did we do in the 1950s to interact with our government? We either went down to City Hall,
Okay.
which was...
You're not that old, but
which
okay.
was 20 minutes, 10 minutes going there, 10 minutes coming back.
Right.
And then you sat in City Hall waiting for your turn to speak with someone. And when you were done, you told them, hey, there's a pothole over on Big Ear Street.
Yeah.
Not a very efficient use of time. Then people started using the telephone. But guess what? Today, within 1 minute, 60 seconds, standing in front of the pothole, you pull out your phone, you click the My San Leandro app. Second step, you take a picture. Third step, you categorize it as the need, pothole, debris in the road, da-da-da.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can submit a comment, then you push send. That automatically goes into a database of activities, which are then allocated to Public Works or to PD or to another group within our city to be able to address. And the system generates for them, here's a list of things that you need to address. So no more needs for phone calls, no more trips to City Hall that are wasting your time as a resident, and we're able to do so much more.
Do you have a technology background?
So my background, I was a graduate school MIT. So I've got a significant focus on how we can use data analysis and technology to drive efficient government, to make life better for our residents.
Are you an engineer?
Some people think of me as an engineer, but no, I'm an economist by training.
Okay, all right.
Data analytics, PhD, economics.
Wow, okay. And you're the mayor. How long have you been mayor?
Been mayor for 2.5 years.
Well, were you a city council before that?
I was not.
Oh, so
I was
first foray into politics.
First foray into elected office. Started for many, many years in the consulting world. I was a partner at KPMG for many years. Okay. And then decided to give back to my city and to the public through this sort of work.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to get your true thoughts on government. That was all the easy part. The Good Government Show is sponsored by Our. That's OUR for Our Community. Get involved. We hear that all the time from government leaders. Our co-brands with your government's name and logo. Your staff and the people you serve are connected and part of your community. From any device, your members provide reliable data and meaningful feedback. Ask a question like, do we want more parkland or better homeless services? More engaged conversations come through the Our app. Visit Ourco, that's OURCO.com, and book a demonstration. After you get done with this episode, hear more good government stories with our friends at How to Really Run a City. Former mayors Kasim Reed of Atlanta and Michael Nutter of Philadelphia, and their co-host, journalist and author Larry Platt, talk with guests and other mayors about how to really get stuff done in cities around the nation. Check them out where you're listening now or through their nonprofit news site, thephiladelphiacitizen.org/podcasts. So we have the Good Government Show questionnaire, which gets to the heart of your thoughts on government. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready? Okay, good.
Is this a lightning round?
This is the lightning round. Yes, this is the lightning round. Define good government.
Good government serves the needs of residents and specifically improves their quality of life.
That's it. It's that simple.
You improve the quality of life of your residents in a balanced budget, of course. You are serving your residents well.
If someone is frustrated with the way government is working, yours in particular, what should they do?
Reach out to us directly. I receive emails, phone calls, personal visits. People come and speak at City Hall. People will speak with staff members, expressing their frustration. And what's really nice, also coming back to us with good news. Because when they see those changes happening and they tell us that they see them, that inspires us to do more.
What drew you to public service? You said you were, a consultant and had another career. What made you decide to run for mayor?
So I've always had an interest in service.
Okay.
Whether it's service locally with nonprofits, with my church, whether it's service with the schools, served on PTA president and the like, making meals at shelters, being a volunteer to oversee homeless folks that were sleeping in a shelter.
All right.
So there's just ways, it's always been part of me, service. But why elected office? Because ultimately I decided that elected office, where you're actually in charge of budgets and you guide what city managers are doing, that's a place where you can have the greatest impact.
Who inspires you?
Oh, there are so many inspirations. My mom is an inspiration.
Okay.
I remember as a 7-year-old, we went out to a small Texas town where she was taking food to a little old lady who was living in a tiny, dark house. I was scared out of my mind as a child. But when I saw what my mother was doing and the joy that she brought to that little old lady, it made a very specific impression. Then I see people like Congressional Representative Barbara Jordan out of Houston, because I grew up in Houston.
Okay.
And the way that she could speak so eloquently about meeting the needs of the most vulnerable, those who really struggle to take care of themselves, that always sat in the back of my mind when I was in corporate America.
Did you eventually see yourself going into public service? Did you always think at some point you'd run for office?
I was one of those kids that when I was literally quite young, I said, I'm going to be president one day.
Okay. Well,
and the reality...
You're on the path.
Look, I think that the reality is that as a mayor, you have the greatest impact on folks in their individual lives because you're closest to the people. And I saw this as an opportunity to give back to my community, to take the skills that I had learned over, 30 some odd years in corporate, which was really, how do you meet the needs of customers, of clients?
Right.
And now I literally just replace that with constituents. How do you best meet the needs of constituents?
Well, you're in California. The governor of California seems to be gearing up for a presidential race. Do you expect to challenge him?
For president?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I think I'm plenty busy helping address the needs of the residents of San Leandro.
All right. Well, we will put off your presidential run announcement for another day. Were you in student government? Were you president of your senior class or anything like that?
It's so funny that you ask that because it seems so insignificant at the time. But I was junior class president.
Not senior class.
Not senior class president.
All right.
I was very heavily involved in speech and debate tournaments and all that kind of stuff way back in the day. And it's so funny to see that today's public policies very much reflect the things that we were talking about back in high school debate, 35, 40, I guess 40 some odd years ago.
So your high school debate team set you up to be mayor. You've been mayor for 2 years now. Before that, you were outside. Now you're inside. What would you like people to know about government from the inside?
People within government, staff, they do have a good heart.
Okay.
They care about the city. And sometimes we hamstring them with state regulations, federal regulations, which slow down the work that they want to do. Sometimes we hamstring them by not investing in the technology that they need to do their jobs well and more effectively. Sometimes we hamstring them by not providing them the training that they need to avail themselves of the best tools that are out there. But I can tell you that for most of those employees, it's not for lack of heart. It's not for lack of desire. And so it's our job as leaders, as mayors and city council members, to give them the resources that they need so that we can hold them accountable to a higher standard of delivery.
What's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is meeting with residents and helping to address their concerns. Because when you see the change happen and you see the smile and the thank you that comes back, that's heartwarming. Being able to work with students in our high schools and elementary schools and give them a vision of what government can do and how they can play a role in the future in their government by becoming the leader. But today they can play a role by raising their hand and making an ask. That's so heartwarming. And I'll give you a very specific example. I was at an elementary school doing Read Across America Day.
Okay.
And when I finished my book, they asked for permission to ask questions. And one little girl raised her hand and said, "Mr. Mayor, can you fix the crosswalk signal, the flashing light that's directly in front of our school?" And I said, "Thank you for letting me know that it's not working. I'll get back to you within the week."
Okay.
Within that week, that flashing light was working again to help make it safer for the kids to cross the crosswalk when cars are everywhere at rush hour drop-off time.
So just nobody had reported it?
Unclear, but what mattered, I'm sure, to her is that she raised her hand with a need and the need was addressed. And that's what people have to have confidence
Was she the hero of her school that said, hey, she got the crosswalk fixed, that little girl right there?
And we've had other examples like that.
Yeah.
So as you know, there's a growing movement to allow the pedestrian signal in urban areas to turn green first so that pedestrians begin walking, and then the traffic, the vehicular signal turns green. Well, that concept was brought to us by a middle school student, 5 years ago.
Okay.
And, we have been implementing that throughout our city. But she literally got an award for raising this concern, bringing forth this idea.
As well she should.
And so I think that the opportunity for good government is always there. We are good at certain things, we're better at certain things, and not as good at some things. But in the end, oftentimes the best ideas come from residents who have seen it someplace else.
Well, I thought the answer to the question of what's the best part of your job would be to go to the Cherry Festival and walk down the lines and go, we help them, we help them, we help them.
Well, let me tell you this about the Cherry Festival. This was the third year that I've had the benefit of kind of serving as the MC.
Okay.
One thing that I take significant pride in is the fact that I meet every single vendor. Every booth I visit, and I thank the vendors for coming to our Cherry Festival, and I ask them, how's it going? Because we can't have a festival without the vendors.
Right.
And if they're having trouble, last year we had trouble with our cell phone coverage. And so vendors, as they went to complete the payment transaction, they were struggling.
Sure, that's
and
a problem.
So, by being present to them and immediately getting that feedback, we were able to pivot quickly and make some adjustments.
So what concerns are there that keep you up at night?
I will tell you that one lesson that I've learned in government is that there's very few people who are there to advocate for capital. Who speaks for the roads? Who speaks for the roofs? Who speaks for the things that need to be replaced, like aging technology infrastructure?
Right.
I have never had a resident come and pound on the lectern facing the dais saying, that technology that you're using, it's way too old. I have had residents talk about potholes, but not about the fundamental investment that needs to be done in reconstructing certain roads that are 70, 80 years old that you just can't patch anymore and that have to be rebuilt.
So other than cherry pie, what is the official dish of San Leandro? If I'm coming to your town, where are you going to take me? And how do I get a real flavor for San Leandro?
Well, let me tell you, we have over 200 food establishments in San Leandro.
200.
We have everything ranging from Mexican food Korean food, Filipino food. We have Southern cooking, barbecue.
Now we're talking.
The ethnic diversity of San Leandro is paramount to the success of our city because we attract people from all over. And so I will literally take you for a feast traveling across town.
Right.
We will certainly partake of our microbreweries.
All right.
21st Amendment is based there in San Leandro.
I could work with you on this.
We will taste some of our homegrown Ghirardelli chocolate.
Sounds good so far.
We will enjoy some sort of flavored drink flavored with the Tarani syrups that are made in San Leandro.
Okay.
And then
I'm sorry, I got to ask. Tarani syrup.
Tarani, flavored syrup. Tarani for 100 years has been making flavored syrups originally for the Italian iced effervescent drinks.
Okay.
But now a number of the flavors used in coffees and other beverages across the United States and now across the world.
Okay. Sounds good. Sign me up.
We're going to have some fun when you come.
It sounds like it. And a little bit of everything. And cherry pie, right?
And cherry pie, indeed.
All right, good. So this is the Good Government Show, and we always like to bring it back to good government. 2 years as mayor. Give me a good government project that you're really excited about you've been able to get going.
Let me tell you, when we talk about the internal systems that people don't see, but that desperately need to be addressed, that's things that I'm proud of. I am proud about the installation of license plate readers in our city that have helped to catch violent criminals that were passing through our city, but whose car triggered an alert. I'm proud of the investment that we're making in changing our human resources IT system, our finance IT system. Why? Because that's going to enable online payments. It's going to enable metrics reporting onto our website of how effectively we're operating and show to residents how we're decreasing costs.
Okay.
I'm proud of the fact that our residents are beginning to stand up and say, you know what? Government's really starting to work for us. We see it. And we are thinking, we, the residents, want to raise money for our city. When the residents themselves step forward and say, we think we need a bond in our city and we're going to support this effort, that kind of grassroots interest in improving government and funding government because people have trust in their government, that's a great story.
That's a great story. Mayor Juan Gonzalez III of San Leandro, California. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to talk with you. And good luck with the small business technical assistance. I look forward to hearing 51 more stories.
Thank you for having me.
Want to hear more about good government? Check out another show I host, Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. I host the show with Brad Kavanaugh, Mayor of Dubuque, Iowa, and the immediate past president of the Iowa League of Cities. Together, we talk to leaders in Iowa cities. We talk about what works and what good government looks like in Iowa. Join us right here where you're listening now. That's Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. It was called the War to End All Wars. But it didn't. 3 royal cousins, all kings, one from England, one from Germany, and one from Russia, blundered their way into a war, a completely avoidable war that left millions dead in the trenches across Europe. Good Government Show executive producer Jim Ludlow details the blunders, mistakes, and bluster that started World War I that didn't end all wars. The book, The Royal Cousins, details the events and creates an alternative history. Imagine if World War I never happened. It didn't have to. Just read it yourself. Download the book today on Amazon. It's just 99 cents and a timely look at history. If the other 51 success stories are anything like the details on the 2 we just heard, well then, there are 51 more stories of good government helping people, this time in San Leandro, California. And here's what I liked about Mayor Gonzalez. When I asked him if it was his idea, his response was, no, it was the staff and it was the community. They come to us with good ideas. All we had to do was listen, and that's good government. Now, if you're in the Bay Area, make sure you take in the Cherry Festival. It's in June, and it's been going on since 1909. That's a lot of cherry pie. And they do have a cherry pie eating contest. Something to think about. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Please like us and share us with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. And check out our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Help us keep telling stories of good government in action everywhere. Join us again for another episode right here. I'm Dave Martin, and this is The Good Government Show. The Good Government Show is a Valley Park production. Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder are the executive producers. Our show is edited and produced by Jason Stershic. Please subscribe, then share us, and like us and review us. That's the best way to make sure we're able to keep telling these stories of our government working for all of us. Then listen to the next episode of The Good Government Show.
This podcast is part of the Democracy Group.